I'm good, how are you?
Kumiachan.
Today shako
Nedonzelelai.
corona maska podai.
Okay. Put the Tulanda thing, sana. You know, like I want to buy the mafia Kulanda and things like that. Me, I would just love to want to find out. Dambisa. Who's Dambisa? Apart from Fubatemo Kulanda Landa Bantu and things like that, there's a side that they don't know. Kuafuma and things like that.
Dambisa was raised by a father, actually a single parent. My dad raised Dambisa. This is why you see there's a bit of a tomboy in me. Yeah, I was raised by my dad, and I grew up here and there. From, I can call it country to country. I'm more like a nomad. And I'm a mother of two boys, two beautiful boys. And I display what people want to see, but they can never know me.
Okay. Namlanda Pali raised by a single dad. If you do Shabasana common nowadays, really to hurt. Mami. How was it to kulana ba daddy munganda, like in terms of, you know?
I think growing up with a dad, I found it more easier and relaxing, because it's not always that he used to be home. So I used to be myself. I used to like be myself, discover myself, and I learned a lot. And on the male side of things, I learned a lot, and this is where I got to learn how to even play football. Yeah, because I grew up with somebody who didn't know how to play chieng, I understand. So I learned how to fix cars and, you know, do stuff, and yeah, you know, yeah.
You can fix a car?
Obviously, I can do a service on a car without even a doubt. Like, I can do that service alone by myself. Yeah, so it's now that I'm learning. I am trying to like apply my parenting to my kids, because I'm a single parent too. Apparently, it's called a boomerang. What goes around, it comes around. Yeah. So I'm raising two boys on my own, and whatever I learned from my father, luckily I had boys, so I'm just literally just transferring whatever I learned from my dad. Yeah, so it's easy for me. It's like a walk in the park.
Okay, so family, like, are you the only girl or?
No, we are about 4 girls. We are a lot actually. We are a lot. We are about 7.
Wow.
Yeah, but not like from one mom. From my mom's side, there are other kids, and from my dad's side, there are other kids. But from my parents, we are 3 of us. Yeah.
So, Iliash Diakwimba, Yashiambila Pesa in terms of music. Shemalefa musician, or where did the journey start from?
I think I was spoiled with the days of when my dad used to listen to a lot of Tina Turner and Michael Jackson, and I used to watch a lot of those. So it began from there. So I would imitate the Michael Jacksons, and I would be like, okay, I can do this. And my dad used to take me out. He would take me out, and you know. You know how it is when you're being raised by a single parent. So yeah, it started from there. My interest grew, and when I came back from where I was, actually when I was in England, I discovered that I could go to the studio and hang around with these guys who used to be like those days underground stars in England, like Michael and them. And then when I came back home, that was the first thing I did. I started looking for, I was in grade 8. I started looking for places where to record my music, and I discovered a place at Carousel. So I recorded my first song actually when I was in grade 8.
Grade 8 na late Africa why died. In fact, she didn't not grade 8. That's how irrelevant my stuff was.
I recorded well when I was in grade 8, so it was something out of passion. When I came back to Zambia, I said I'm gonna do this because the ground was still soft. It was like really huge playing field. There were the likes of those days. There were the likes of what's his name again? Taitu.
Oh, when Taitu.
And
when Chameleon.
Yes, Chameleon, and there was also Peterson and all that. So when I came in, it was an entity for me to say, oh, actually dancehall is not really that much known in Zambia. So how do I work around what I've learned from the other side? And then the interest grew.
So all of my beloved fear shot, you know, if you find the folk chasing and the folk music, if I chase and react.
My dad was a very open-minded person. Like, he was really not that person who was closed-minded, because with his travels and my travels and everything, but we were exposed to a certain kind of thing. So he supported me, but I told him I was going to do music, but I didn't tell him I had already recorded some music. Yes. So the first time I was shooting that, I ran sore. Like for 2 days I was never home. Like I was never home. I had to shoot this video, the Buela video. So 2 days
is it on social media?
Yes, Buela was my second.
Buela?
Yes, Buela.
Okay.
Was my second single. So when I recorded it, my dad was watching TV and it started, and then I had this little Hey Mama skit. Do you know, like, the immediate time I was in the kitchen getting something, I heard that song, I ran out of the house scared to say, But to my surprise, Dad took it very well. He was like screaming to say, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. You're not gonna judge me with the whining and stuff. He was like, no,
I won't.
Continue. So grade 9, I kept on pushing. Then I became a little laid back, because you know the industry in Zambia is too judgmental. They didn't understand what I was trying to do. But you never learned that in their fool, I need their fool, you get it.
My mama. So now Sango Rimbo Buela, and it's just a baby never and show Rimbo. I remember, because I remember that you know this song used to play on TV. So just to take you back, we went to Rimbo to the Landabo, work at Dambisa, we what Buela, and she was small for moment and she was a top model.
I was tiny, now I'm round.
After my daddy Wamona and Tabakwetama negative vibes, Kuruimoro, you singing on a film, Monfuile as a person or wasn't, like, how did you feel?
I felt encouraged, and how my dad was, he literally would support you in what you want to do, but he would not divert away from your school. Yeah, he was strict about that, but he would literally support me with what I wanted to do. He would drop me off if I want to go out partying. I know, I grew up in a community whereby I was the only black person on my group. Like, for real? Yes, I was the only black person in my group. So we had this thing, this rebellious kind of way of life. We started like hanging out in clubs with my friends and all that. But what he just started doing was that he introduced me. He would actually get all my friends and he would drop us. If you remember the days he would drop us at Boom Boom. We would have a fan. Then he would come and pick us up, and then we would go home. So he was literally more like a guiding light for us. We would literally know our limits. We would say, oh, Bunny's gonna pick us up at this time. We better not get hired like this, you know, not uncontrollably, but we would be organized and how we party. So it was easier for me to go about life.
Okay, so Chuninga for quick shop like in any of single mom, I used to find it hard. Like and things like that. I used to be like, but Wish mama is mom is late or
No, my mom was very much around then, and it's just that my dad and mom never used to see eye to eye because of me being raised up with him. And there was, I don't know what conflicts they had between themselves. So he never really allowed me to experience on my mom's side. And it was like, I literally don't have much knowledge of my mom's side, too much of my mom's side. But if you ask me about my dad's side, I'm more inclined to my dad's side.
The mom feel they used to refuse you from the dad's mom's side?
It's their business at the end of the day. Whatever I've been told is what it was on the ground, and after finding out a lot of stuff, I became more forgiving towards my mom, and in her late days of life, we started communicating and getting to learn one another, but it was a bit hectic because, you know, you feel like they are or something, or she's just wasting your time, but you're trying to, yeah, it's true, but you know whereby when you're not raised with somebody and then they come in and they start giving you rules on which your other side was never, putting them there, you feel like, what the hell?
What's going on?
Why are you doing that? You never raised me at the end of the day, like we're at the point where I am at, it's all this person. But I became a person to like literally just move on with whatever was happening with my life when Dad died, because I needed a bit of a guiding line in my life, so I had to go back to my mom, but it never worked out. It never worked out to perfect. Like, you have a mom, you can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about your growth as a woman. I never used to have time for that. I would leave the house. I wake up and I would just leave the house.
Wow. I think you had to say anyways, turende kwa perfume right now, but past is what makes the future even. So apparently, Bali Misaina, talk about the A&B, Zambia, biggest two labels. Bali Misaina, Ilya signing to KMP, what did that mean to you as an artist?
You see, there are times in life, there's a point in life where everybody feels like they want to give up and they want to like change trades or change their work and stuff like that. But in all things that happen in life, there's always somebody who's got a watchful eye on you. And I was so blessed to even be given this call by Mr. Wadiakalandani, who is my boss now. Biggest boss, one of boss, Yeah, I was more honored for that call to come in and say, okay, we need to sign you. And the question was like, why me? Why not? Yeah, why not all these ones? But I feel like that man is a visionary. He sees talent before anybody else could see it, and he knows when there is always like gold remaining in something. So he just said, you know what, I'm going to get this Dambisa brand and we're going to rebrand it and we're just going to make it big. Because I've seen your vision, but not most Zambia can see your vision. You are not here. You are always ahead of time. Because you can imagine the days when I was coming up with bikini shots and everything. Now it's common because I paved the foundation and I laid all that and in front ahead of time. So he actually took upon himself to like really grow the brand, and this is why most of the artists that are under KMP will tell you to say he sees before any other person sees.
Artists abanono bashifumia manimbo. Like ninapenda manimbo yafumia this year. Did we countdown, top 20 countdown. Now this year. Unless math 30 just 2 songs this year, did you?
Yeah, and let me make this straight. Let me make this straight on air right now. In my whole entire career, I have made my brand Dambisa name without an album.
Oh, and what?
And that's dangerous.
You said the interview. What else?
Yeah, That's very much
wow.
dangerous. So you can imagine that with the opportunity that we've been given now with studio time and investment of videos and all that, you can imagine what's going to come next, because I'm not closing up for Zambia. I'm not doing that no more for Zambia. I'm just picking up the pace. How can I say, my fuel is more aligned with jet fuel now, because I need that international platform. I'm not looking forward to having these altercations with Zambians no more, because they don't understand where you want to take the flag. At the end of the day, when you raise that flag, and they're going to be like, oh, that's ours, you get it. And then you just have to take them back and embrace them. But if the vision is not believed in now, we are always going to remain the underdogs. They never seen.
You've said something very important. Speaking too much Landapo. Zambians, tolifati mu Africa, fwe bantu waitemu okulandalanda. Nga posta kofi echiba mbo okulandalanda yo, Dambisa chitechi yo, na posta muri bikini kachinga kuswima masuti nshaishiba. Ushe, how do you handle negative vibes kubantu or ama comments? Uchitapo shan. Like this question I did planning 6 years ago. Because in a Palwanzi, she should find that I don't send location to the way. I don't know. How do you handle
negative
vibe kubantu?
Sometimes you have to understand that I'm human. I respond. But right now I've started noticing to say, I'm frustration is full. So you have to forgive and forget. The minute you should have land up Pamuchi Bati, Gemboy there was a Gemboy Akabati Nimbui. You understand? Then you want to go and Bokla Konkampuri. While I sang at what I sang Wafu. Because Yaram Boku took a foot Yabosa away. Yakubosa again, you are waiting. So you won't get anywhere. So ignore them. Ignore them. The best way you can just compose yourself and just ignore them.
Okay. Anyways, also ibala upon Bakwito FM 93.3 ends up see with Dambisa today the pedia shidia music and so much more. Na fimbi. Mwalifu Myorwimbo did up to now a different way to pronounce. Jarox is like a bit of, your version of in the male side is like that collabo though. Yeah, the fimbi. One of my vision did do was Jarox the main guy?
No.
Who was the main guy?
I'm gonna be very honest. No. You see, what happened was Roxa called me for an interview. Then I had already recorded Didido. I don't even know what happened to me when Sarah.
Murimbo, you were just alone.
Yes, the first version I was alone. So when Lex was working with me, we were working on something. I think we worked on 5 different sounds. And I was telling him to say, I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling this. Then I don't know what I said, and then I just said Didido. Then I was like, okay,
Didido. I think you're one of the people who are Batamba funny tell us,
yes.
Sugar Bam Bam, Kadoka.
Yes, so I'm like, oh, Didido. What if I was to talk about something like, life in the Didido? Then when I started recording, I started changing the words. I came up with a situation whereby a guy is failing to approach a woman, and I was like, oh, okay. Life here, so it's a bit of Didido. It's a complicated kind of puzzle life. This is where Didido is. Didido is more like it's a puzzle where you just have to have fun with life. Then you encourage somebody saying, have fun in life. Be that person, that macho person to approach me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's how. And then how did Rox come in?
So he called me for an interview, and then I was playing Didido. Then in my head I was like, oh God, I think I need Rox on this one. When I saw him, I imagined a situation of, because mainly all the time when I'm recording something, I always imagine a relationship or something which I want to talk about, it should be very visual in my head. This is what makes a good song for it. And it has to be, when somebody is listening to it, they have to imagine themselves in that situation. So when I was imagining, I said, if I was to fall in love with Ross. No, I'm serious. I'm like 100% serious. I'm like, so what if I was to fall in love with Rox? Because you know how Rox is? He's a very shy guy. The song was already talking about this guy who was shy. Then I was like, I think we need this guy in the song. Then my producer said, yes. Actually, I was meaning to ask you to put a guy in there. I was like, oh, so happened that Rox is a shy guy, and I need to encourage him to have a bit of,
Okay, so talking about music, a question is not really, it's one of those questions. Mu Zambia, banono ama female artist aba consistent, aba banono aba ishi bikona sana compared to kubaomi. Nishirenga sana women not to be so consistent like you guys, like imwe mena bomisha mena kefigo na mambi. What really makes women not to be so consistent in the music industry? Like I don't get it.
I know most people are gonna hate me for the truth, but who gives a damn? Anyway, at the end of the day, the truth has to be said. There's no unity.
The power katana?
No. Okay. There's no unity in the female sector. You'll find that guys always plan what they do and they always work as a team. With women, there's always that thing to say, I'm the one, I'm the best. What can you tell me? I'm there, I'm better than you, and all that. And we forget the fact that I can never be lumpy, I can never be bombshell, I can never be kefigo, I can never be either. I can't be either of that. So we forget the fact that if we create a support system, it will actually create the base for us. But what we do is that we start digging the holes for the foundation. Then what happens if we see these blocks are cut? In every home, whichever home you try to create or whichever house you try to create, there are always pillars. So what happens if you start digging a hole and then you start breaking the pillars again? After putting up the pillars, then you break them yourself again. Meaning you won't go anywhere. So this is what happens in the industry, and that's the truth. Nobody wants to work with the other person. It's only a few of us who see eye to eye. But all the time, there's always somebody talking about somebody, wasting time in bad mouthing and calling each other hoes and stuff like that, instead of just focusing on what the picture is building the industry.
Okay, so this year, since Mwalipangleshina Dambisa, which is a big brand, ukwabla album, ukwabla EP ama singles fye. Turesta expecti shimuhe ya 2021. Already natukwata ama singles yabiri, natukwata and Didido. Nish turesta expect me ya 2021.
The plan was to have something this year, something, a full album or an EP. But due to the fact that we've been going back and forth with the corona issue, people have been getting sick and you're scared to go to the studio because you fear it's too close and maybe. Yeah. So it's been a bit of a slow year, and looking at we're going to the pause, which is like a bit tricky. You cannot focus on working with a more rattled mind than focusing on what's going on in the country. Nobody can work properly because there's too much going on and you're confused. So I feel like this year is gone. It has gone, and there's need to go back to the drawing table because you've seen what's going on in this nation. It's not really giving us what we call a one Zambia, one nation. We are more inclined to division than working together. And I was saddened by this guy who was burned. I was looking at all this blame that comes on us being artist. And let me talk about something which has really made me sad is the fact that people are also hating on the artists that we are paid to do jobs. You get it? So it's a bit tricky. You can't release something right now when people are focused on hate, because it's not going to go anywhere. Everybody's thinking we are branded kind of brands. You know what I mean by that. So it's a bit hectic until people understand. So this is a business. And we go where it is, where it's happening, where I can afford my, my drinks. I know where I can afford my.
Okay, so the triangle maybe more 2022. Ushemwana Kashinshi, would you want to work with? Also, Nakuba Ome, would you want to work with? First, you barely work with females. Like Chigazona, you were brought up by dad. But Mwana Kashinshi, would you want to work with? Oh, Mona Fati. Okay, but this one can really, nail it moving more ones.
I've got great respect for Wezi. I remember when Wezi was starting out, not most people believed in her. And I'm able to say this on air because even if she's listening, she'll tell me the truth. Like, the first time when I sat on the channel, the panel judges, I actually discovered Wezi. And I was literally telling
Wait. When you start audition, which member?
Yes.
Wow.
I actually believed in her. I was like, no guys, this girl can sing. Until that time we were doing Baila Empire compilation, and Baila wanted people. So when they came to audition, I was among the panel of judges, and I saw this girl, and I was like, and I literally screamed like I was sitting in Playhouse there, and I said, you know what? This girl can hit, and none of you girls can hit.
Wezi.
Yes. And then I touched a bit of people with that phrase, but which was true. Wezi has got vocals, beautifully said vocals, pair of pipes, and I look forward to working with Mumpy too, because she's like a very good friend of mine, and we have our often phones, girls. Yeah, but I look forward to working with her, and a number of them also, Bombshell, I can say or a number of them, actually the whole entire industry. I can work with them depending on what type of song is. Yes.
Okay. As we wind up, you advise for like girl child, Panama to Alibako a little bit, we're different from Bashtata when it comes to do stuff like music, dancing or radio, or maybe rapping, people throwing negative vibes kuli way. We should any advice maybe both female and male. Like, what can you tell them as Dambisa comparing to where you came from to where you are now?
Being in the industry, like being in this industry, the arts industry, it's all about passion. It's the same as being in this black tie industry or anything. What people need to understand is that they should never be judgmental about what a person wants to do in life. It's all about passion, and if passion is what drives you, success is guaranteed. If you don't have passion for something, believe me, no matter how much you try to focus, you will never. We even have kids like that drop out from school. They'll tell you to say, me, I think when I touch a book, you get it, and then you as a parent, instead of finding what that child is good at, you get it, and you suppress. You press down their entire capabilities. You just literally put them in a box. So once you do that, they'll never be able to be successful in life. So if you discover to say this child loves this, try to study that art and try to work around it and find ways of branding that person or helping that person become the best they can. Because Yeah, we all have schools. If you have my school, if you are well, you know,
But
somebody brought it for us, and somebody taught us. Told us to say, go to school, get a job, be what. Now, sometimes you find that the most successful people have never even been to school. They concentrated, they sat with themselves, and they found out what they're good at. This is what all parents should look at. If a child says, I'm a model, you say, how is the market in Zambia? Can this person be like this? What face does this person have? Can she be a brand ambassador? Should I focus more on corporate, encouraging this child to be, in corporate modeling, or should I encourage her to be on a runway modeling? So you discover all those things. And as for female artists also, if you see a child is interested in singing, you try to say, okay, what is he passionate about? Music has got categories. There are those educative type. There are my kind of music, which is more educative in my way, and we have music that just encourages people to go about life and stuff like that. You analyze that. You discover that if the person is passionate about something, just push them to be best at what they do.
Okay. So, in the background, it's Wheels and you, Dambisa. Apparently, at some point, social media was going crazy. Dambisa and Wheels, and
God,
you posted a statement saying, unani and things like that. Was that a social media stand, or it was?
I don't have a problem with dating any guy who's on age, and I still stand with my ground. Do you understand? If he's above 18 weeks. So it's a business. What you need to understand is it's a business. So if anything is gonna work, if it's gonna keep people talking, if it's gonna keep people wanting to see more of a certain brand, we go with it. It's a business. You never know the truth.
You never know the truth.
Maybe it is the truth or not the truth.
Only God knows. Anyways, as we wind up and concluding so finishing with the fans, what do you have in store for us and things like that?
First and foremost, let me applaud you for the work. I have never seen a more passionate DJs than the two DJs that are my favorite, and that's you and the other boy, PNC.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
To my fans, we're not gonna stop here. It's a big brand. Dambisa is a more of a massive brand, and it's just a time bomb. Everything has time. You never know when it's gonna happen.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Good music lasts, no matter how much people think this music is rubbish. But with time, when somebody who's knowledgeable about something starts understanding, there'll come a generation when they'll say, oh, okay, there were these kind of people.
Understand.
Yeah, and you've seen. We will take for example, the likes of Oliver Mtukudzi.
Actually, the favorite artist, Zimbabwe.
You understand? He started way long, but people never knew him. But the time came when Oliver was big, without a doubt, worldwide, and it's only a matter of time. And this is why I was, yesterday when I was looking at, my insights of Facebook, I was so surprised with the numbers which came from other countries, and people were paying attention. And because I didn't know that people are watching, and this guy from Jamaica called me. So I kept on cutting the line now, kept on cutting, like I thought it was one of those. So I kept on cutting. Then he sent a message saying, "This is business, please pick up." So I picked up, and this guy said, I'm from Jamaica. And I couldn't understand what he was saying, though I do a bit of patois. So he slowed down a bit, and then I was like, oh, okay. I've seen you this and that and that and that. And then he told me something very vital, and I fell in love immediately, and I started texting him like a mad person. I was like, okay, so you mean you worked with this person? And let me see the profile for that person and everything. So when he told me to say, I work closely in the studio where I fix the Dambisa, so I'm hunting, I'm fishing.
You are going far.
I'm fishing in that pool.
Before we lose her.
I'm fishing in that
Before they get her one.
I'm fishing in that pond because I'm a fan of Dexter. And when this guy told me to say I work closely with Dexter in the studio in Jamaica, it's just a small studio, set up and everything. So when he was there, he even gave me a video call. I was like, okay, this now is interesting. This is when I started looking at the insights and I saw that a lot of people have been watching from other countries, and it was so much of a blessing to me.
Okay. Anyways, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on. Periashi, Idia, Psana Psana. Allow me to say you are one of my favorite female artists. Like, too bad Kaskari Popado. He likes saying Neo Savage, like I like to speak my truth because that's how it is. And Kung Fu Manimboyo, it gives me that I'm like, so I'm not the only one. So truth is truth. You know what I mean? So continue doing the big works that you do. Continue being Dambisa. Don't change because someone said, oh, now Kakapaf and things like that. I'm one of your fans.
No. I got the support of you guys, Kutu FM, Hot FM. I'm grateful for you guys because you've been nothing but a backbone in the Zambian industry of music, and which is so much a blessing for all the artists. But on my side, I find it more home to be at Hot FM because I can have more fun.
You know what I mean?
You can allow me to do some stuff.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.